All right. Jefferson's. We've done the Jefferson Ocean. We've done the Jefferson Ocean Rye, but we have not done anything else Jefferson's, whether it be
on here,
the original, or this right here, the single barrel, coming in at 100 proof. I'd like to know more about the company, if at all possible. I know we've gone over it twice at least already.
This isn't just a single barrel, though.
It's not?
Nope.
Well, we're going to find out what that means, and much more, I'm sure of it, on this episode of Savor the Burn. Welcome one and all. Witness the fall on Savor the Burn. My name is Jonathan. That was a little OTEP reference. This is W2. How do you do, sir?
Doing good. How are you doing?
Doing all right. I just had myself a little bit of a bonus episode involving a delicious yum treat by Miss Katie.
Pretty tasty.
So definitely one more again. Thank you so much, Miss Katie. And if you're not familiar with what it is that I just referenced, you should really pay more attention to what Savor the Burn has to offer here on the podcast, whether it be YouTube or any of the streaming platforms out there. We're on it. So hit subscribe, hit follow, hit like, leave us a comment, leave us a suggestion on sweet treats, leave us a suggestion on whiskeys, whether that be in the comments on any of our socials, Facebook, Twitter, X, Instagram, TikTok, or send us an email, info W2 or Jonathan at savortheburn.com. So with all that out of the way, what do we have in front of us? Jefferson's Reserve.
Why don't you see if we can get ourselves a nice little pop on that?
Single mother effing barrel.
You get pouring and...
Let me pull this on by the microphone here.
I have stories.
Oh, there we go. Finally.
Real cork.
Have you had this before?
Oh, not this one. This is Jefferson's Reserve. Not just their regular Jefferson's Reserve. This is the Jefferson's Reserve single barrel. And there's more to that. I will get to in a minute. But this is bourbon. It is made in Kentucky. It is distilled by Kentucky Artisan Distillery. There is no age statement on this, but this does clock in at 100 proof, and it is a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. Crafting innovative bourbon since 1997. Founded in 1997, Jefferson's is the brainchild of Trey Zoller and his father, Chet, a famed bourbon historian. They continue a family whiskey tradition that goes back to Trey's 8th generation grandmother, who was arrested in 1799 for the production and sales of spirituous liquors.
I remember us talking about that before, and I was like, how cool is that?
Yeah, that was last year.
Grandma's a badass.
For Mother's Day last year, 2023, they released their Martha in celebration of this amazing grandmother, this rebel.
Amazing grandma.
Trey decided to offer Jefferson's Reserve, our most quintessential bourbon in the portfolio, at a higher proof to satisfy the thirst of a bigger, more robust reserve offering. This expression enhances the flavors without being too strong. The single barrel allows the Jefferson's Reserve flavors to be amplified at the enhanced proof. Jefferson's Reserve at 100 proof hits the apex of flavors extracted without burying the secondary elements. So this
elements.
So this is their single barrel offering, but like I said, this is more than just a single barrel offering. While we were in Louisville, we visited Kentucky Artisan Distillery, and they had a lot of things on the shelf, and they had a whole display of these single barrel offerings. And so I started asking about these because I had never seen a single barrel offering in person from Jefferson's Reserve.
Yeah, I didn't even know they did that.
So side note, Jefferson's entry level is just called Jefferson's very old bourbon whiskey.
Okay, yeah, I think it says that down here, doesn't it? Yeah, very old Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey.
Yeah, so without the reserve, just Jefferson's very old
whiskey.
is their entry level. And then the step up from that is their Jefferson's Reserve, which I've had a lot of for a long time. It was kind of my go-to. I really, really used to love Jefferson's Reserve. And then from there, they have their Ocean series, and then they did a rye, they've done a wheated, they've done a handful of other things.
And trying out different casks finished.
Yeah.
This one here.
They even have a rye that is finished in a cognac cask.
But we want to try that one, the rum cask. Is that a rye? We were just talking about this earlier.
From Jefferson's?
Yeah, Jefferson has a...
there is a rum cask.
is it a rum cask or Caribbean cask? Or
they have a rum cask. They also have a double oaked, or twin oaked is what they call it. But anyway, back to this one, though.
Back to this one.
Focus. On this display or whatever, they had a bunch of these, and they all had, slightly different things written on this single barrel card, which, as any single barrel does, it's got the barrel number, it's got the bottle number, and all that on there. I got talking to them when they do store picks.
Okay.
A lot of distilleries, they do store picks. With their store pick barrel program, though, and I think most distilleries are like this, whatever that barrel yields, they deliver full cases.
Okay.
Which means they end up with 1, 2, 3 leftovers that go on their distillery store.
To a full case.
Yes. So this is not just a single barrel, but it was somebody's
barrel pick.
Somebody's barrel pick.
Okay.
So,
okay.
For whatever that's worth, that to me, that at least means that there was a couple discerning palates that weighed in on picking this one for a barrel pick.
Sorry for the crude slurping of the water and the wiping of the face. I just want to make sure that the caramel I had a little bit ago gets eliminated from my palate, because I don't want that to influence what I'm about to do here.
The one Jefferson's that I have not gotten into that I am very, very interested in getting a hold of, and I plan on getting one here soon, is their new Tropics. The aged
Tropics, that's the one I was trying to think of.
Humidity.
Aged in humidity.
Is their tagline.
Dude, I've been aged in humidity in this warehouse with this heat lately and the humidity. God.
And I think, I don't know if it is actually part of their Ocean program, but it resembles their Ocean offerings. So, but yeah, supposedly it is aged. What it says, Asian humidity down in the Caribbean area. It's not finished in anything, but supposedly all that extra humidity, those barrels sweat and absorb into the wood a lot. And so, yeah.
But that is just another example of a side tangent that we will go on here on this podcast. If you like it, great. Hit like.
This distillery was cool. So we got there.
Back to this one, yeah.
We didn't have the time, and we had just missed a full tour that had kicked off a half an hour before we got there.
Oh.
But I think
they could have restarted it.
Well,
we're kind of a big deal. They should know who the fuck they're dealing with.
There was already a tour in process. They were already out in the distillery or whatever. I think their regular tour is like $20-$25 or whatever. But because we missed the tour, but they were about to finish up and we're going to get ready to head to their tasting room, we could just jump onto the tasting with them, and I think it cost us like $5.
Wow.
So we're like, okay.
Yeah.
So we're just kind of sitting around. We're looking at their shirts and their bottles on the shelf. And I'm trying to decide. I think Tim either picked up the Twin Oaks or their rum cask.
Okay.
I don't remember which one he got. Maybe he got both of them. I don't know. Leave us a comment.
Yeah.
Faith, Tim.
Come on.
But we're sitting around there, and finally we see all the people coming in from the distillery section of the building. And when we see the tour guys kind of leading them through there, and we're like, all right, not really sure where they're going, but we need to follow this group or whatever.
Yep.
And he goes right over to, they had a bookcase on one of the walls where they, on either side of the bookcases, they had, the Jefferson's Reserve Glencairn glasses and the Rocks glasses, ornaments, and all this stuff. And then the center section was their clothing. So they had shirts and all this stuff. And I was like, why is he taking the whole group over by this clothing rack in the gift shop? And then the clothes are on a roll around stand that he pulls out and then rolls to the side, puts his hand on the wall, and then slides it forward.
What?
And there was a hidden door there that led to the tasting room.
Oh, wow.
So we followed them all in there, and it was kind of like a school classroom. They had all these like little bar tops, in different sections, and they had it all set up with the little tasting cards, a lot like the Michter's things where they have the the little pog round things on.
Do those fit on top of this? Okay,
they do. Yep, they're just a little bit bigger than the top of the glass.
Okay,
and but yeah, and then as everyone kind of come in there, he slid the door. He actually pulled the clothes rack back over the space and then closed the door. So we just kind of disappeared into their speakeasy and.
Wow, that is so cool. Yeah, get a couple pulls on this nose and tell me what you think. I think for me, right off the bat, for me it's a caramel vanilla bomb.
So the 100 proof, I feel, presents itself on the nose.
On the nose,
there's a little bit of proof, ethanol that you get on the nose.
But it's not 100 proof like rot gut.
No. But there's a lot of, caramel, vanilla, some oak.
It smells the way deep amber looks.
Yes, yeah.
And I don't know if this is a deep amber, but it's definitely an amber color.
I'd say maybe some apple.
Apple.
Some plum.
Plum.
What do our notes? Our notes here say.
Yeah, do we have tasting notes on here?
Leather, humidor, sorghum, or fried apple pie.
Humidor? Are you picking up a dried tobacco kind of? Maybe in hindsight.
Maybe
in hindsight, I do pick up on that.
Yeah. Okay. Like a cedar kind of, because typically your humidors are lined with cedar.
I'm just thinking. Oh, okay. So, I'm just thinking like you walk into a cigar store and then you open up the door and you walk into their humidor area where all their rows and rows of cigars are kept.
But the walls on there are typically cedar.
Are they really? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that's a very interesting. Okay, so I guess we could say humidor. I think that would be a first for Savor the Burn. To say that we nosed anything that smelled like a humidor. That's really cool. That's a very unique and tasty nose, and that's just the nose. Let's get it on the palate.
Get myself a Kentucky Chew on that one.
I held it on my palate too long. Oh. Yeah, so I did like the little kind of in-mouth swish, and then down here in the back, if you're familiar, you know what I mean.
French toast, definitely cinnamon, and I'm getting some maple syrup French toast.
Dude, I could see that.
Like cinnamon, sourdough, maple syrup.
This is a little bit of
butter and a hot skillet.
Very unique. Palate. What did you just say?
Butter on a hot skillet.
Butter on a skillet.
Frying up that French toast.
I'm ready to fat that down right this minute. No, it's not paleo, Jennifer. But I'm gonna fat that down.
The notes say cinnamon toast, toffee, and brown sugar.
Finish. What did they say on finish?
Finish.
Long finish with a hint of spice.
Yeah,
I would agree with that. I mean,
it's a nice long. It's a nice long finish, and yes, and the long finish is nice because those baking spices actually follow it all the way through to the end. And so that whole journey of it's slow tapering, but you're still getting the cinnamon, the nutmeg, the allspice kind of all playing around and dancing in there.
This time the finish complements both the palate and the nose. So this one here, I'm interested to see how you score the finish. Because a lot of times,
I am too.
As I'm sure you're well aware, W2 will score the finish a little bit lower. Because, that's just how he does it.
Speaking of.
Let's do a little rating and calculificating.
Let's do it.
I'm still stuck on palate. I'm going to rate that one the same. Finish was good.
Yeah, finish is really good.
Palate hits you like you think it would. Finish doesn't hit you. It hits you better than you thought it would.
It drinks nice and smooth.
And some of that oakiness, I didn't write that on there. Oakiness.
It's got a good solid Kentucky hug on it.
Yeah. For me,
which is why I think it drinks its proof.
Yeah. I lost the butteriness, but
I see that.
But yeah, I think you said cinnamon sourdough. I think I'm picking up on the. It's like I don't know. I think oak takes more of a center stage on the finish than some of the rest of it does. Get my last pull here and really think about it.
We didn't talk about it, but the legs on this thing.
Yeah, the legs are great. So
it's got a good viscosity.
Yeah, it's a oakiness,
which leads to good coating mouthfeel. Maybe a little bit oily. I've heard people use that.
Oily? You think so? Do they use that with Jefferson? Is that what you're saying, or
no? Just in general.
In general,
okay. Typically, when you're talking about a whiskey that is thick and has a mouthfeel to it, it's usually because the viscosity, it has an oiliness to it. I love their bottles.
So, all right, you said, just to go back and reiterate, you said this was somebody's barrel pick.
This was somebody's barrel pick.
But it's not labeled as such.
Correct. I love all their bottles are the exact same bottle. So it's that kind of a flask style bottle. They all have the hardwood top on there with a natural cork.
And neckband.
Yeah. Yep.
I think the other two we had, the Ocean, have the extra topper band, maybe we could call it. I'm not sure.
Great color.
So, yeah, excellent color. I mean, it's definitely, you said this is no age statement?
No age statement, yep.
Did they give a...
Nope.
No?
No mash bill, no indication.
Whoops.
What'd you give it on the nose?
So I gave it a 4.5.
All right.
I was very happy with the nose. I mean, very happy. I had caramel and vanilla bomb, which usually denotes a higher mark. For me, I picked up on creamy custard. Oak, you picked up plum and apple. And the note said humidor, reverse thoughtification engineering.
Cedar.
We totally picked that up. Cedar and walking into a cigar store humidor.
Yep.
Now, what did you give it?
I gave it 4.25.
Damn. All right. Going a little hard in the paint, ain't you? Quarter point off, right? What am I supposed to say? Palate.
Yes, sir.
What'd you give it?
4.5.
So did I. Everything that just about everything that the nose had to offer showed up in full spectrum flavors on the palate, and I was very happy with that. I mean, we had oak and cinnamon sourdough, French toast, hot butter on a cast iron skillet. I mean, I need to calm down. Like, I am ready for that shit. I mean, when you watch what you eat for a while, or like you hop on the paleo for a while, it's sometimes intrusive thoughts are hard to get out of your head. And those, I mean, that's in my head now. Thanks a lot. Hey, it's for the podcast. Whatever. How about finish?
I came down a little bit to 4.25.
Okay. For me, I did too. Nothing against it.
Yeah.
It had a long finish, which I definitely enjoy. The baking spices were less defined, but
But they did come on through.
But they were
with
there. Mm-hmm. And oakiness is, I think, the first thing I came up with. And overall, it was a great finish. Would I use this in a cocktail? I'm not 100% sure. It would work probably great in a what, midnight Manhattan.
Oh yeah.
Anything involving
old-fashioned
coffee. What's the coffee one?
Oh,
Do you remember off the top of your head what the coffee one was?
the revolver.
Revolver? Okay.
Is that what you're thinking of?
I'm not sure.
Oh, you're thinking of the owl, the
Kentucky Owl
one.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, it had a little bit of foam and the 3 little coffee beans up there on the top. So good. Yeah, look that one up at savortheburn.com in the cocktails. I think this one would lend wonderfully to that. Anything with a bitter kind of undertone to it, because it's not overly bitter.
But like I said,
not overly dry.
I think the revolver this would work really well with.
Yeah, yeah. I totally agree. How about bottle presentation?
I give it 4 1/4.
4 1/4. Okay, so 4 1/4 is what we gave the Jefferson Oceans bottles.
Okay,
those were both 4 1/4. And for me, there's less labeling on this. So for me, I thought I'm going to drop it down 1/4 point. So I'm at 4 1/4.
Okay.
I'm sorry. You're at 4 1/4. I'm at 4 even.
Okay.
I mean, it's a classy looking bottle. I mean, you see this on the shelf, you're going to think that's, somebody's feeling uppity.
Yep.
It's very, very pleasing to the eye. It's got the barrel number, the bottle number. What do we say this one?
Kentucky Artisan Distillery.
Artisan Kentucky Artisan Distillery. And there's nothing on the back. So if you want any of that information that you would, be curious about on the
navigation of my truck almost got us there, but we crossed the railroad tracks and GPS told us to make a left turn. That ended up being a dead end.
Oh dear.
So we went, I was like, well, let's go right, and we ran right into it. So almost got us there.
GPS is a little fickle, isn't
yeah.
it? So anyway, that I don't know if I docked it 1/4 point or whatever, but whatever. It doesn't matter. It's all personal preference. And we haven't talked about our ratings in a while. So before we hit our final score on this, we rate them 0 to 5 on nose, palate, finish, bottle presentation. We add all those up. We divide by 2, and that's how we got our final score. My final score on this bad boy was 8 5/8, 8.625.
Girl, same.
Really? Wow.
Different math?
Yeah.
Same score.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty cool. So if you had to recommend this bottle to somebody, what would you say? How would you recommend it?
Well,
like if you're a fan of Jefferson.
Yeah, and like I said, I have not seen. I know if you go out on their website, they have the single barrel listed as a option, as an offering. I have never seen the single barrel version of this on the shelf outside of a store pick, outside of a barrel pick, which is what this is. This was a barrel pick remnant that was left over from not having a full case to deliver to whoever picked it.
That does bring to mind a question I was going to ask you earlier. I think you were mid-conversation. And as much as I do it, I'm not a big fan of interrupting people. Have you seen this as a single barrel or a barrel?
That's what I said. Yeah, no.
Anywhere other than that distillery?
I have not. I
haven't either. When you said that store picks are out there, like barrel picks are out there, I'm like, really? Where?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they have a barrel pick program. This is a remnant from one of those. And they had a bunch of them on the shelves, and so I couldn't tell you why I did. I looked at the barrel numbers, I looked at the bottle numbers, and for whatever reason, this is the one that
that's the one that jumped out to you.
I just grabbed. But yeah, there were definitely different barrel numbers, which means they were different barrel picks. But I have never seen a single barrel offering on the shelf. And like I said, you go on their website, there is one clearly on their website. So it does exist. Just here in Kansas City, haven't seen it. Yeah. That said, I see the Jefferson and the Jefferson Reserve everywhere. You can find Jefferson Reserve nearly anywhere. Not every liquor store carries them, but most of them carry something from Jefferson Reserve.
I saw,
and the ocean is
everywhere
the
too.
ocean has actually become more prevalent than their main product.
You see
the
it
Jefferson Reserve
at Walmart and Target.
Yeah.
I'll see it there too. I saw a few months ago at Red X up in Riverside in July when we went up there 4th of July firework shopping or whatever. I saw four. Distinctly remember 4 different bottles of Jefferson's up there.
Yeah, and we didn't talk about it, but this was a $59 bottle. $60 bottle.
Okay. Yeah, let me write that down. Yeah. I mean, that's not bad. Maybe we should visit sometime.
This is their Jefferson Reserve product dialed up a little bit.
I could see that. It'd be like the Jim Beam White Label versus Black Label. It had to happen, folks. Yeah, so maybe we should visit that subject at some point. What is like dollar amounts go? Like for your daily sipper, for your average sipper, what's your dollar amount? Like what's your go-to dollar amount, or does that even matter? Like, I mean, if you can find, if you can find, like, case in point, Blanton's, if you can find that for $65, if that's your average daily sipper, that's a $65 bottle. But for the rest of us, it might be $100 to $269. You know, hell fucking no. So, you know, at MSRP, maybe we should define it. You know, what's your average daily sipper? I think that'd be a good conversation to have. And I would definitely want to hear what the listeners and viewers have to say about that too. Because I mean, it could be anything from, like, you know, I've already talked about Jim Beam. So you could be talking about a $15 to $35 bottle, depending on what you get on average. Or you could, you know,
or a $160 bottle.
Come right out at Right, or you come right at it 60, or if 40 to 60 is your range, then Michter's might be your thing, or West Bottoms Whiskey Company could be your thing. So
if I remember correctly,
I'd be really interested to hear what people have to say.
If I remember correctly, the regular Jefferson comes in about $25, $26. The Jefferson Reserve is about a $32 to $34 bottle, and then it kind of goes up from there.
And you do get what you pay for.
Yeah,
I think when it comes to Jefferson's, you get what you pay for. Yep. Some are, you know, based on hype, and you just never know what you're going to get. Are you speaking of never knowing what you're going to get? We never know what we're going to get on a second nose. I've been actually looking forward to this one here.
Maple syrup,
not grape nuts. This one smells like cream of wheat, or not cream of wheat. Almost Wheaties.
Maybe brown sugar.
Raisin Bran, but without the bran flakes, not without the raisin. Yeah, that's where this one sits.
Yep.
You never know what you're going to get on second nose. Do you have a favorite second nose on any of the whiskeys you've ever tried, or are you completely unfamiliar with second nose? Second nose is your empty glass after it's had the whiskey in there. You drank it all. It's all gone. It's had time to air out and dry out. Give it a whiff. Let us know what you think it smells like. See if you can pick up on some of those second nose notes. So if you had to, I know, just kind of throwing this out there, but if you wanted to recommend this bottle to somebody, how would you pitch it? How would you say, like, well, if you like this, or if you like that, then you would probably definitely love that, right? If you like Jefferson's, definitely try out Jefferson's.
No, I mean
Reserve.
that's exactly what I'd say.
Okay.
If you're a Jefferson's Reserve fan,
grab a single barrel.
I would say keep an eye out for a single barrel.
But the only time you've seen a single barrel is at the distillery. But it doesn't mean that store picks don't exist, because they do.
They have a barrel pick program.
Yeah.
Stores are picking barrels from there. So, yeah. They're out there.
Yeah. So maybe I answered the damn question for you. Sometimes I think I should just shut the fuck up. Let the man speak. So please send all your hate mail to Jonathan at savortheburn.com. I love hate emails.
Or hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, hit the subscribe button so you could definitely... I'm a yes man. I'm going to agree with just about everything this man has to say. Both, definitely. Hit subscribe, leave comments talking about how mouthy I can be, and send me a personal email at jonathan@savortheburn.com. And I will take your words into consideration. So no matter who you are and where you are, what you're drinking, who you're drinking it with, never forget.
Keep on burning.